Hey everyone, I'm LockhartQT and this is going to be your complete Black Ops 6 Zombies breakdown for the Terminus gameplay. I'm also going to break down both the trailer for Terminus as well as the full 17 minutes of gameplay. I've been researching online on pretty much all the information we've got, as well as I've got not only the trailer but the full 17 minutes of gameplay with no commentary on the channel. So if you want to go and check that out, just check on the channel below. I'll have both, probably on screen as well as in the description below. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through sort of each point individually. There's a lot to cover in this video and it's probably going to end up being like half an hour, so let's just get on with it. So first off, Treyarch have stated that Terminus Island, which is our brand new round-based zombies map, is not only focusing on round-based content only and won't feature like an open world, there won't be an outbreak mode at launch or anything like that, but apparently Terminus is the biggest round-based zombie map of all time, even beating the likes of Transit, which is bit bonkers to think about really, but obviously Transit was absolutely massive, and apparently Terminus is going to be so massive in fact that you'll need the tactical raft. Now this is the boat that got leaked out, and apparently this little boat is a drivable boat and it allows you to go to the outer islands of the map. So the map itself will be the prison island, and then dotted around you'll have shipwrecks, Easter eggs, and little islands and locales that you can go to, and things like abandoned caves and mine shafts, all scattered about on different islands in the ocean, and that just sounds incredible. And if you look at the gameplay, it just looks incredible. And like I said, it was going to be a bit broken having a boat. However, Treyarch have found a way, so you can't just you can't just drive around in the boat for like 30 minutes. They have actually made it so that it's timed, as well as the fact that you've got creatures in the water that will come out and kill you, such as the massive tentacles, and I'll get on to more of that later. Also, Codename Pizza has stated that Terminus will have the most Easter eggs and side quests out of any zombies map previously, meaning that not only Terminus is the biggest, but it will have the most content. And that also comes from other content creators who have been able to play the map early. Apparently Terminus is just going to be absolute jam-packed with lots of different things. Now you're probably wondering to yourself, how will Black Ops 6 Zombies play? Well, according to the content creators who have gotten to play it early, as well as Treyarch themselves, apparently Black Ops 6 Zombies is being described as a combination of Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4 and Cold War, which is all fantastic really. I mean, we can see things such as, slide cancelling will be coming back, the monkey bomb, gobble gums, the ray gun, as well as all of the systems from Cold War, such as the salvage, the crafting, the rampage inducer. All of that stuff is coming back, so for me that's really great. And by the way, I will have some of the B-roll footage in the background, but apparently, and this is pretty cool I think, and not a lot of people are thinking much of this, but like in Black Ops 4, zombies will now appear behind doors. So for example, you'll go to a door, buy it, and there'll already be zombies behind that door waiting for you, also similar to World War II zombies as well. Also, the zombies will interact with the environment in really interesting ways. For example, in the gameplay, we saw a zombie in a water tank. It broke out of the glass and then started running at the player. We've seen things like a zombie that appeared dead on a sort of medical table. The zombie then suddenly shoots up from the table and then runs after you. We've seen things like zombies eating half dead humans. Basically the humans are screaming out in pain, begging you to end their life because they've obviously been infected, and things like that. And it's just, I think it's a neat little detail that we haven't really seen before too much in zombies. I think the closest we've come to this is probably World War II. So if you guys watched my previous video talking about all the leaked stuff, well, we know that augments are coming to zombies. What are augments? Well, if you've ever played Fortnite, these are essentially little challenges that you can do to get different things within the game. You can get basically mini perks. It's very similar to the perma-perk system from Black Ops 2, but you'll actually be able to pick and choose the augments when going into the game, as well as in the game itself. And these are applied to different weapons and items, and you can actually choose one minor and one major augment per item. Treyarch have also stated that there are going to be 100 augments in the game, so this is things like zombies impacted by beams are slowed from the wonder weapon, things like, the beam of the wonder weapon is replaced with a spear that damages enemies over time, as well as it travels around the map damaging enemies, things like that, and the augments just sound really cool in general. Next up, now I've also sort of edited and put it a separate trailer on my channel, but we've actually had gameplay of Liberty Falls teased at the end of the trailer, the 2-minute trailer we got. There is a small teaser for Liberty Falls where we get to see the town, we get to see a mangler, and then we get to see like an upside down area featuring the Dark Ether in some way, shape or form. And Treyarch have also confirmed that we're going to get our full gameplay reveal at COD Next on the 28th of August, which will include Liberty Falls, not only a story trailer as well as a cutscene, but we're also getting full gameplay like we have today for Terminus. Okay, so let's get back to Terminus for a second. Well, we're getting some new enemies on the map, and I was really surprised with, you know, how many, I guess, different enemy types we're getting. I guess it makes sense that Terminus is the biggest zombies map of all time, and it's going to need more than just regular zombies. So on the map, we're obviously getting regular zombies, we're getting crawlers, we're getting the brand new, I don't think as of writing this, Treyarch have given them a specific name, but they're basically zombies that are a lot fatter, a lot beefier, and have slightly different health, as well as the return of like armored zombies from Cold War. But we've got a brand new boss zombie being the Amalgam. The Amalgam, it looks like, again, the boss zombie from World War II Zombies, the first map, and it looks like a amalgamation of different zombies and enemy types all sort of thrown together in a blender, and it looks incredible. Anyway, this thing can damage you and really just eat at your armor, eat at your health. It will down you very quickly, apparently. And the main sort of catch and draw of this enemy is that not only can it jump long distances, but it can also apparently grab and throw you across the map, which is going to be absolutely chaotic. We also had this teased in the sort of short teaser trailer as well as being leaked in the game files, but we have a brand new enemy type called Vermin, and these are little like spider enemies that crawl out of zombies' heads, and then they then start jumping at you and crawling towards you. These things, especially if you've got arachnophobia and you're afraid of spiders, these things look absolutely terrifying. And speaking of which, Treyarch have actually confirmed alongside this that there will be an arachnophobia option inside of Black Ops 6. So if you're scared of spiders, you can turn the setting off. I don't know if it gets rid of vermins altogether, but it might change them to be a little less scary. But for me as a fan of horror, I'm just going to leave it as it is. I'm not afraid of spiders, and I can't wait to try and take these things down. Next up, a very interesting enemy type that I didn't think would ever come back, or at least within, you know, the Dark Ether, and those are parasites. Apparently parasites are indeed returning. The last time we saw parasites was in Revelations as well as Shadows of Evil, so obviously they're changed for the Dark Ether, so they're not going to be Apophicons anymore. They're going to fly around as usual, spit at you, they're going to sort of teleport as well, and they're going to appear on all of the different little islands around the map. And also teased to us is the fact that Gobblegums are returning. We already knew this, and we get a look at the brand new Mr. Peak's Gobblegum machine, as well as we've got some fan favourite Gobblegums returning, as well as some brand new ones. I'm going to save that for its own video, but we do know things like Crate Power, Perkaholic, alchemical antithesis, I can't speak. These are all returning, and apparently there are going to be over 20 Gobblegums at launch. And the way that they work now is you'll get a Gobblegum, you'll go to the machine, you'll get a choice of 3 Gobblegums that you can get at a time. And we also know that Gobblegums are no longer purchased by Liquid Divinity or Nebulium Plasma. Apparently every time the round ends, you'll have a chance of getting a Gobblegum. Basically, the higher rarity, the higher rounds you get. So for example, maybe, you know, 5 to 10, you can only get, you know, the lowest tier of Gobblegums, maybe things like Pop Shocks, for example. And then as you're getting into the 50s, you can then get your Perkaholics, etc. And we get a brand new wonder weapon for the map. Apparently this thing is called the Beam Smasher, and it can be fully customized and upgraded via the Easter eggs as well as side Easter eggs on the map, similar to maps like Origins, Dries and Drak, etc. And apparently the Beam Smasher, it not only fires a electrical beam, very similar to one of the Raygun Mark II variants in Alpha Omega, but it also has like an alt fire mode which fires out like sonar beams which stun zombies, as as well as cause them to become confused and they can like run away from you and all that. And this thing looks incredible. As you can see in the ammo sort of container there, it contains like Ethereum, and this thing looks absolutely awesome. And again, it just reminds me of the, I think it's Raygun Mark II, I think it's the Y, or Raygun Mark Y. It's the electrical one, the yellow one from Alpha Omega. And we also get a look at Pack-a-Punch returning, and it looks like it's appearing on an elevator. Currently, I haven't really found any indication of it being a timed elevator, but you hear like basically you're in the underground basement, you hear like alarms going off everywhere. The Pack-a-Punch then lowers down on an elevator, and then you've got to be very quick to get it before it goes back up. I don't know if this is a thing that you can like call to different areas of the map, but I feel like it would be. And we've also got confirmation that there will no longer be a in-game menu for Pack-a-Punch similar to Cold War. Now you'll just go up to the machine, Pack-a-Punch it, and get it like that. And you've probably seen it already throughout the gameplay, but we've now got confirmation of the brand new Pack-a-Punch camo. This thing looks awesome. It's going to be very similar to Cold War and Vanguard, where you Pack-a-Punch at different times and you'll get slightly different camos. For example, it starts off being neon green, then neon orange, then neon purple, and like I said, this thing looks absolutely nuts, the Pack-a-Punch camo. I'm so glad that it's gone back to weird and wacky. Also, I can't believe that the map is actually launching with a Pack-a-Punch camo as well as an Easter egg quest, because obviously Vanguard didn't, but hey ho. And although a lot of the in-game chatter was turned off for the gameplay, we have gotten confirmation that Raptor 1, Peck and Dr. Strauss will be talking to you over comms, basically helping you throughout the map, as well as talking you through the side quests and the Easter egg and the story of the map, so that's nice to hear as well, very similar to Cold War again. And again, from what we've seen and heard from Treyarch as well as the YouTubers so far, is that armor is returning in Black Ops 6. However, armor has now been changed so that it's now a wool buy rather than just being at the armor station and you've got like an in-game menu. I imagine they've done this because an in-game menu doesn't really work in zombies as well, because obviously you could be in the in-game menu and then have like an entire train and it can get you downed. And we also get the notification that salvage is indeed returning, and apparently it now only solely drops for you, meaning that if salvage drops on the floor for you, your teammate can't pick it up, for example. But apparently salvage is now used to buy the different ammo types around the map, and I'll go into that a bit later, but yes, a lot of the ammo types are returning and they can be purchased using salvage at their own dedicated little stations. We also get indication that zombies will have theatre mode, as well as the fact that we're also getting things like the intel system returning from Cold War. I'm so glad this is returning because things like documents, intel, radios, as well as artifacts are all going to return. I thought this was a really nice touch in Cold War, as for people like me who are really interested in the story and the lore, we can just go into the menu and have an absolute field day. So I'm really glad this feature is returning, especially with things like audio logs and radios. Also, as you've most likely heard through all the leaks recently, zombies will now have two modes specifically for the Easter egg. Apparently there will be a new guided Easter egg mode that will release sometime after the round-based maps, both, Liberty Falls and Terminus, and apparently this new mode is going to be sort of an easier mode to help new players get into the story, and apparently players that complete the main Easter egg before the guided mode get a specific reward. I'm most likely going to be one of those people. I always do the Easter egg sort of like the first few days after the map comes out. I've done this pretty much since Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, so Cold War's not going to be an exception. I'm going to do it on the normal mode because I prefer a challenge, but the guided Easter egg mode is going to be very similar to Cold War, where you're guided to turn the Pack-a-Punch on, but it's also going to be very similar to World War II zombies, where there's like in-game prompts, like on-screen prompts that will actually show you where items are and things like that, and it will actually tell you what to do for the Easter egg, which is going to be very interesting to see how that pans out, especially with the zombies community. We've also learned that like in Black Ops 3, you can now put attachments on guns, camos, charms, stickers, etc. And you can also make it so that is the specific version of the gun you get from the mystery box and the wall buy. And one little change that I really like is these guns, when Pack-a-Punched, will display the Pack-a-Punch camo or a chosen camo that you choose, because on certain maps in certain games, if you edited a gun and made it your own with different camos, then Pack-a-Punched it would have that camo. And for me, I think zombies zombies is very special, especially with this amazing pack-punch camo we've got in Terminus, so it's nice to hear that you get the option of either one or the other. By the way, there is a brand new field upgrade which is called Dark Flare. This is where you can generate a massive energy beam that deals lethal shadow damage over time. The beam penetrates everything in its path, including zombies with increased health, boss zombies and armor, which is really nice to hear, and we do get a bit of this in terms of gameplay within the trailer itself. And one new thing that has mainly caught the eye of not only myself but probably you watching this video if you've watched the trailer and the gameplay already is the brand new mutant injection score streak. Yes, this is a score streak, not a field upgrade or anything else or a perk. This is a brand new score streak that turns you into a mangler for a short amount of time. This thing, especially with how it's cut to the music in the trailer, looks absolutely nuts, and I cannot believe this is a feature in zombies. I imagine in the future we may get ones where we're turned into like a mimic, or we're maybe turned into other, like a vermin for example, or other types of zombies. Maybe we can become a parasite and fly around the map, I don't know. But another thing to do with manglers specifically as well is that when you kill manglers, they can drop their cannon, you know, the side cannon that they can shoot you with, and then you can use their cannon for a short amount of time until it depletes in ammo, which is a very, very cool feature. Again, another thing that I talked about in one of my videos the other day that got leaked out was the new save and quit feature. In Black Ops 6 Zombies, you'll now be able to save your game in solo matches and then come back to it at another time. This is definitely going to be quite controversial, specifically with the high round community, as a lot of people, you know, like to just grind zombies, but this is going to be such a clutch feature, specifically for people like me who are just really busy with work and YouTube and social life and real life and all the rest of it. So basically you can start a game in solo, get to like round 50, pause the game and then come back to it another day. However, they've also stated that if you disconnect in a solo game, your game will be automatically saved. However, the downside to this is that you'll only get one save slot. I don't know if it's per map or just per zombies, but apparently people are saying that you'll get one save slot for all the maps. So I don't know if this is going to be tweaked or edited when the game is updated in the coming months, but again, we'll have to wait and see. Just a few more things really as well. So completing the main Easter egg apparently will not end the game, and the main Easter egg will involve all the different islands and the map and exploring the map in general, which sounds really cool. And speaking of exploring the map, I said earlier that obviously you can drive around in a boat, and in my video the other day I was very worried at the fact that you could drive around in a boat and you'd just be, you know, you'd be fine. And like I speculated, Treyarch have come up with a way to essentially keep you on your toes at all time, especially when you're in a boat. A tentacle will spawn out of the water if you're in the water for too long. It will then shoot gas into the floor, and then the gas, it's like a orangey yellow gas, it will then follow you around in the boat, and basically it will draw you to an island. If you're not quick enough, this gas will kill you quite quickly. And from what we've also heard, you can also kill the tentacle monster, and I imagine this is going to be the main boss of the Easter egg. That's at least what people are saying so far. So again, we're going to have to wait and see. Speaking of tentacles, we also get brand new tentacle traps. Now this was leaked out like a year ago in the game files, which is quite funny to hear, but yeah, this is very similar to the electrical traps of old, but they're now tentacles, which just looks really creepy and gory and horror-y and very tentacly as well, might I say. And obviously a couple things here that are just staples, specifically of Cold War zombies. So wallbuys are going to return, and like in Cold War later on as it got updated, they will grow in rarity the higher the round you get to. You'll also get ammo caches return, which is going to be, you know, where you spend points to get your ammo back, as well as the Rampage Inducer that is returning, and apparently the Rampage Inducer will only last for the first 20 rounds. If you don't know what the Rampage Inducer is, it's like a little canister in Spawn. You hit it and then all the zombies start sprinting, they turn into super sprinters, and it's basically used to get the first like 5 or 10 rounds a lot over. Basically it's to get the rounds over a lot quicker, because especially the first like 5 rounds can sometimes just be really slow. Speaking of different zombie ammo types as well, but we do know that the ammo types will no longer be tied to the pack-punch machine, they'll have their own machine. And speaking of which, Brain Rot, Cryo Freeze, Dead Wire, Napalm Blast and Shadow Rift will all be returning. Speaking of returning items as well, we know we're getting 8 perks on Terminus, which is apparently rumoured to be slightly different on Liberty Falls, so again we're going to have to wait and see if the same perks pop up, but yeah, it's the usual candidates here. It's nothing new or special really, but we've got Juggernog, Quick Revive, Deadshot Daiquiri, Speed Cola, PhD Flopper, which apparently can be changed and augmented into PhD Slider on Terminus, Elemental Pop, and Stamina Up, as well as the brand new perk which I gave its own video to, Melee Macchiato. Now this thing looks absolutely nuts. Cold War added the ability that some perk machines, such as Mule Kick for example, when you buy Mule Kick in Cold War it will like shoot zombies, and it's very similar here. Melee Macchiato is based on sort of meleeing, and it has like a little boxing match on the perk machine, and the perk actually has massive boxing gloves where you buy it, and the perk machine will start punching zombies, killing them, which just looks absolutely nuts here. In Black Ops 6 Zombies, you'll also have the ability to leave and rejoin friends' games at any time. Now, we have got the confirmation that co-op games will not have the save and quit feature, but they have added in, also re-added in from Black Ops 4 and Cold War, the ability to pause games in co-op as long as the host or the lobby leader pauses the game, which is fantastic. I'm so glad that that's returning. That's such a clutch feature, especially for Easter eggs as well. And we do know that obviously the camo challenges are returning, as well as, you know, diamond camo, plague diamond or whatever it's called. And I've heard a rumor that Dark Ether, or I think is it Dark Matter, I can't remember the one in Cold War, apparently that camo specifically is returning, as well as the Dark Ops challenges also tied to the main Easter egg quests. And that is a lot of information that I've just covered specifically on the brand new gameplay features for Terminus. However, if anything else is revealed, I will sort of cover it in separate videos, as for the first time ever in Zombies, we've had a full gameplay reveal where they've just shown like 17 minutes of gameplay, and they've got a whole blog post and everything, and it's absolutely mental. But lastly, I'm actually going to talk about the story. So we have actually got 2 synopsises, or synopsi, I don't know what the plural is for the story there, but yeah, basically we've got 2 massive blog posts for the story, both for Terminus and Liberty Falls. So starting off with Terminus. Trarco stated that located in the Philippine Sea is the remote Terminus Island complex. Historical data indicates a pre-World War II coal mining operator on the island, abandoned around 1932. 10 years later, Terminus became a forward US naval base, mothballed until 1965. The CIA converted it to a top-secret outpost used for the detention of, and then it's like blank, in 1984. In 1986, Project Janus took over the island, building a laboratory in these subterranean mining caves. After Peck and Maya and the Requiem crew break out of their prison cells in the opening cutscene that we saw, which I've also got on the channel by the way, they soon learn this is a bio-research station for Project Janus. Your handlers, Peck and Strauss, and for the richest story experience, you'll want to choose your operator crew from Gregory Weaver, Elizabeth Gray, Mackenzie Mac Carver, and Mayo. I'm going to try my best to pronounce this, Aguinaldo, we're going to go with that, Maya El Guinaldo. And apparently these are going to be the dedicated crew characters featured throughout Black Ops 6, so Trark for the first time here are confirming that these 4 characters are indeed going to reappear on the DLC maps, which is really fantastic to hear. And finally, let's talk Liberty Falls. So in terms of Liberty Falls, apparently footage from an incursion at a once quaint, now overrun West Virginian town also gives you the first glimpse at the second launch map. Seemingly the epicenter of a dark ether outbreak, chaos is crawling through Liberty Falls, with much of the local population now succumbing to the results of a second simultaneous dimensional breach. Now this is really cool because we do know that both Liberty Falls and Terminus take place at the exact same time. I imagine the Easter egg of one map will tie into the other, or maybe they'll explain it in radios or some way, but we haven't really seen too much of Liberty Falls. However, we have had a short amount of gameplay showing off the town as well as a new dark ether area, so again we're going to have to wait till COD next for the full gameplay reveal of Liberty Falls. And literally as I'm editing and recording this video, Treyarch have also dropped a story trailer, which is the return of Craig, who's obviously the narrative and the guy in charge of the story. He's been pretty much a key figure in the development team since I'd say Black Ops 3 onwards, when obviously Jason Blundell took over. He took over his job, as well as Kevin Drew. They basically talk about the fact that the 4 characters that appear on Terminus, there'll also be a crew on Liberty Falls. However, both maps you can use operators, and not only that, but you can also apparently mix and match between operators and these characters as well, so that's going to be really interesting. And all we learn about in this brand new trailer is the fact that Richtofen is obviously the one that's throwing them all into prison. Characters are going to have interactions very much like, Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4, where the characters will talk to each other and have, unique dialogue for rezzing each other and things like that, which is really nice to see it return. I know it's such a little thing, but it was something that made Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, 3 and 4 just really special in terms of the story department, so it's really great to see that here. And in terms of what's going to happen on Terminus, again, we're going to have to wait and see. I do think that both Liberty Falls and Terminus will be sort of both sides of the same coin. I think both maps will play into each other in terms of the story and the Easter egg, and then going into, the intel and the artifacts. So we're going to have to wait and see, but thank you so much for watching the video today, guys. I know this has been a massively long one, however, there's just been a lot of stuff to break down. If I have missed anything, I apologise, but let me know in the comments below, what do you think of Terminus? What do you think of Liberty Falls? What do you think of the gameplay shown for Black Ops 6? And let me know in the comments below if I missed anything, because obviously it's just a lot to cover, and it's just a hell of a lot of stuff, and I am really hyper and really happy right now, if you could probably tell. Thank you so much for watching the video today. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe and all that good stuff.